Is this mold on the ceiling? Is the roof leaking? Is there a problem with this window?
Hi everyone, this is Rhea Se from Remax Westcoast. Today I'm with the licensed home inspector, William Soldat. He is highly experienced in checking out the defects of a property, and today he is going to share with us his insight on moisture damage in a home and what to look out for. Thanks, Will, for educating us on this topic.
Happy to be here.
What are the top problems that can lead to significant moisture damage in a home?
You can have plumbing leaks, which will result in water damage to materials. Then you could have high humidity in a home, which would cause deterioration around the windows, staining, maybe some mold growth in the colder sections. You can have leaks from the exterior, like the roof and the walls. So there'll be a stain on the ceiling and the thermal camera would pick it up, and we verify it with the moisture meter. You can also have drainage problems where the drainage doesn't function anymore and then the water kind of seeps in, or there's a crack in the foundation, it seeps in.
Okay. Tell me more about the plumbing leaks.
So for example, recently I had a toilet on an inspection that you can tell by the grout lines in the tiles. They're a little darker, so that's an indication that there could possibly be a leak. And then with the moisture meter, I make sure I verify. And there was definitely moisture around the toilet. And the homeowner reported that recently it used to be loose and then now it got tightened. So I think in that case, we also went underneath and checked the ceiling, so there was no damage yet. But the floor was probably soaking it up a little bit, the moisture. So I would, get a plumber to remove the toilet, check the flange, check the wax ring, and then just put a new wax ring, put it all back, and it should dry out over time.
Tell me more about the drainage problems that you've encountered.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was on an inspection, and there was a basement which was underground, about 6 feet, and I walked through the basement. I always check all the walls, the bottom of the walls on inspections, and there was no visible signs of moisture or anything, but there was definitely moisture in the wall, in the baseboard, in the flooring. And on the outside, we dug down in the dirt a little bit with the owner and the buyer, and there was definitely a pipe that was not draining properly. And so, basically there might be a slight kind of crack. It's not actual water that's leaking through. It's more like water vapor pressure, so it's damp. And so they would fix the drainage, make sure it drains, or divert the downspouts away from the home, and then, it'll clear it up.
So tell me about roof leaks and what you've encountered.
On a recent inspection, there was an older home with a new roof, but the flashings on the roof were not installed correctly. And on the inside of the home, there was one section where it was visibly leaking, and the owner said that is leaking. But there was another section where it did not show any visible signs, but the thermal camera noticed a cold spot, and then the moisture meter. And on top in that section, there was a flashing that was just kind of improperly installed with caulking on top, and so that would have developed into water damage. So it's good to get it caught and then repair the flashing, and it should dry out.
Tell me about the humidity inside the home and how that's a potential problem.
Right, so I get asked this every once in a while, maybe a couple times every fall or winter when it starts to rain. And either it's a homeowner or a tenant or on an inspection, and you notice a lot of moisture on the windows. Sometimes there's so much moisture that the carpet is wet, it overflows from the windowsill. And it's just basically hot air in a home. If it's hot all the time, warmer, it's like a sponge, and it soaks up humidity in the home. And then you open the door from that bedroom, for example, and then you have a living room that's a little colder, a big window, condensing surface, and then it condenses. So the solution to that is to run the fans more, have heat but not constant heat in a room. Just kind of like turn off the heat when you're at work, maybe turn it up at night. and also just have a window open a little bit. Just more circulation and better ventilation usually clears it up.
I always get this question from my buyers. Can I get my friend or relative who's a contractor to come inspect the property before I purchase, rather than hire a licensed home inspector?
Well, I would definitely recommend having a home inspector, but there's nothing wrong with bringing an extra person. They might be an expert in whatever they're an expert in, and it's always better to have more eyes looking at the place. But a home inspector is trained. They look at the same type of home over and over and over, same situation over and over and over. You know, so you look for clues, and you have the tools. I have a thermal camera, I have a moisture meter. You know, so I would say get a home inspector.
So yeah, anything else to add? As home inspection is a profession, and you're licensed, what does that mean?
That's right. And we also have a lot of training, and then there is the standards require you to check a whole list of items, and in a way, check them in a certain way. So, you know, a homeowner or a friend wouldn't go into that much detail. Our reports are very long and very detailed. So I always, at the end of my report, I mentioned that there's a series of maintenance tips, and one of them is check under your sinks. And yeah, because, for example, here we had a little bit of a drip from a faucet, just started. So eventually, nobody really looks under there. And, you know, 6 months later, you could have water damage to the cabinets, right? It could even leak downstairs. So it's very important to take the clutter away and just check things once in a while.
I know that Will has a very special prize for us this month.
50% off on an inspection.
To participate in this draw, just send me the words moisture by text, WhatsApp, WeChat, or by email before this date and time below. See you next time.
See you soon.